Dear beloved souls, have you ever wondered what happens when you stop playing the game? When you stop reacting to the chaos they try to create and instead choose peace and silence? What if the most powerful response to their manipulation is not fighting back, but simply walking away and letting them face the consequences of their own actions? That's exactly what happened. They came at you with everything they had, expecting chaos, expecting you to break under the weight of their manipulation. They believed their mind games, deceit, and calculated attempts to shatter you would send you spiraling. But instead of meeting their energy with fire, you responded with something far more terrifying to them: silence. You didn't beg, you didn't react, and you didn't even acknowledge their desperate attempts to shake you. Can you feel the power of that silence? The very thing they thought would break you became the thing that shattered them instead. Your calm became a language they couldn't comprehend, yet couldn't ignore. Your maturity was a force they never saw coming, and now they are the ones drowning in the aftermath, haunted by the realization that they never had power over you to begin with. They are obsessed, unraveling, and fixated on you because you did the one thing they never expected. You turned their games into your victory. Before we dive deeper, I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt thanks to all of you who have generously supported the channel through Super Thanks. Your support means the world to me, and I'm deeply grateful for your contributions, no matter the size. Whether you donate or not, just your presence and engagement with these messages are already a blessing. Thank you for being here. And now, I'd love to hear from you. Comment 999 below if this message resonates with you, if you've experienced the power of silence and stepping into your own strength in the face of manipulation. Let's come together and share our stories of transformation. Now, let's dive in. God's chosen ones, they can't believe how calmly you handled them. Now they're obsessed with you. Chosen one. Have you ever noticed how some people will go to great lengths just to test your patience? They set traps, waiting and watching, expecting you to stumble into their carefully laid snares. The world around you becomes a stage, and they're desperate to see you fall. It's as if they believe your reaction to their insults, their distortions of your words, and the chaos they create will somehow validate their efforts. They want to see you break, to give in to the pressure of their manipulation. And if you do, it gives them power. Why? Because in their minds, your response will be the tool they need to twist the narrative, making themselves the victim and you the villain. But the chosen ones don't operate that way. What would happen if you didn't react at all? What if you remained steadfast, like a rock in the middle of a storm? In Proverbs 15:1, it says, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." Think about it. When you remain calm in the face of provocation, you take away their power. Your silence speaks louder than any argument could. In their eyes, you're supposed to fight back, to lash out, to prove them wrong. But you didn't. You stayed still, watching their tantrum unfold before you. It's almost like you're a spectator, an observer of their chaos, detached from the drama they desperately try to pull you into. Why does your calmness unsettle them so much? The absence of reaction confuses them, and they don't know what to do. It's like you've removed the very foundation of their expectations. You didn't justify yourself, nor did you chase after them, trying to explain why they were wrong. You simply moved forward, moved with grace, moved with silence, moved onward, like Jesus in Matthew 27:12-14, when he stood before Pilate, silent amid false accusations. His silence wasn't weakness, it was strength. And just like him, your silence now carries power. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Have you ever wondered if this is the secret of the chosen ones? Perhaps this stillness is not weakness, but a deliberate choice. A choice that says, I don't need to engage with your chaos. Take Mahatma Gandhi, for example. He faced constant provocation during his fight for India's independence, but he didn't react in anger or violence. Instead, he remained calm, practiced non-violent resistance, and let his actions speak. His movement gained so much power precisely because he refused to be drawn into the turmoil created by others. The absence of your reaction is deafening to them. It's like King David in 1 Samuel 24:12, when he chose not to kill Saul despite having the perfect opportunity to do so. David's refusal to retaliate left Saul perplexed, confused, and eventually his anger dissipated. Sometimes silence can be the most powerful weapon in our arsenal, as it leaves those who provoke us with nothing to hold on to. Your response, or lack thereof, has left them without a foundation to stand on. Why does your stillness hold so much power? It's not a silence born of weakness, but of strength, of the knowledge that you have nothing to prove. You walk a path that is yours alone, and no matter how much they try to bait you into their world, you remain untouched, unscathed, and unbothered. You are the chosen one, and that is the greatest power you can possess. Chosen. 1. Have you ever noticed how some people thrive on control? They feed off the power they hold over others, manipulating emotions, twisting words, and creating chaos just to maintain their grip. But what happens when that control slips away? What happens when you, the chosen one, refuse to be controlled, refuse to react? The moment you removed yourself from their web of manipulation, they were left alone with their own mess. For the first time, they had no one to blame, no one to manipulate, no one to control. Just themselves, drowning in the chaos they created. Can you see it now? The panic that sets in when they realize they have no power over you anymore. Psalm 37:7 reminds us, "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. You chose stillness. You chose peace. And with that choice you broke their grip. They relied on your emotional energy to feel alive, to feel powerful. But without you, they are left with nothing. It's almost as though you were their emotional sustenance, feeding them unknowingly with your kindness, your energy, your attention. And now that supply is gone. You've cut them off completely. How does it feel to reclaim your power? At first, they convinced themselves they didn't care. They put on a show, pretending to be unbothered, laughing louder, posting more, surrounding themselves with distractions. But do you see through their act? It's all a mask, a desperate attempt to cover the panic slowly creeping into their hearts. Why do you think they pretend to be unaffected? Could it be that deep down they are feeling the suffocating weight of their own realization? That they need you, not the other way around? Proverbs 14:12 tells us, "There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end, it leads to death." They thought they were in control, but the truth is catching up with them. Your absence has left a void that they can't fill. They are gasping for air, trying to breathe without the comfort, the energy, and the attention you once gave them. Can you imagine the desperation they now feel, knowing that they underestimated you? They thought you would always be there, always giving. They believed you needed them, but you showed them otherwise. You walked away, and now the silence you left behind speaks louder than any words could. Matthew 7:7 says, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you." In your stillness, you took control over your own life. And by doing so, you opened doors to a future they can't touch. And the worst part, watching you thrive without them. Isn't that a kind of divine karma? You're not just gone, you're glowing. You are elevating in ways they never imagined. You are rising, and every step you take is a reminder of the power you have within you. They tried to break you, to pull you down to their level, but you refused to play their game. and now they can only watch as you shine. How does it feel to become untouchable, to rise above the ashes they tried to burn you with? Think of Maya Angelou, a woman who overcame immense struggles and challenges, yet thrived in the face of adversity. Like you, she did not let the hate of others define her. She rose higher, and her success was a reflection of her strength. What lesson can we learn from her journey? That the power of silence, the power of walking away, is what truly breaks the chains that once held us. Now, they are obsessed with you, they miss you, they finally see your worth, and the realization is eating away at them. Can you see how their world is crumbling as they face the truth? That they underestimated you, that they took you for granted. Now, they are left with nothing but their regret and the haunting knowledge of what they lost. You are the one they can't have, the one they thought they could control, and now you are out of their reach forever. Chosen one, have you ever experienced those moments when someone who once had a hold on you tries to subtly re-enter your life? It can start innocently enough. A random like on your social media, a casual, "How have you been?" message, or even a mutual friend reaching out with no real purpose other than to test if you're still accessible. It might feel like a sign of care, or maybe even a step towards reconciliation. But don't be fooled. This isn't love. This isn't about healing or growth. This is panic. It's the panic of losing control, of realizing that the grip they once had over your emotions is slipping away, and they don't know how to handle it. In their eyes, you've become a puzzle they can't solve. They know that they no longer hold the key to your feelings, and that is terrifying to them. Why do you think that rattles them so much? What makes the loss of control over you feel like such a profound crisis to them? The fact is, they need to feel powerful, and they thrive on the emotional energy of others. They've been feeding off your kindness, your attention, your willingness to engage with them. But now that you've pulled away, they are left grasping at straws, trying to find any way back into your life. Psalm 36:2 speaks to this when it says, "For in their own eyes they flatter themselves too much to detect or hate their sin. Their pride has clouded their ability to see the truth. They've manipulated you, used you, and taken advantage of your emotional generosity. But now that they've lost that influence, they find themselves suffocating. They put on a mask, pretending everything is fine, pretending they don't care. But deep down, they are panicking. The game they've been playing has no more stakes, and they are desperate to regain control. How do you feel about them suddenly reaching out to you after everything that's happened? It's not genuine concern. It's a calculated move to see if they can re-enter your world. It's a test to see if you're still available to them, still vulnerable to their influence. But here's the hard truth. They are not reaching out to make amends or to right the wrongs. They are reaching out because their ego can't stand the thought of losing. And they want to prove to themselves that they still have power over you. They want to reassert that control. They might say they've changed. They might claim they need closure. They might play the victim, pretending they are the one who has been hurt, hoping that this will force you to let down your guard and give them another chance. But ask yourself, if they truly valued you, why would they have pushed you to the point of walking away in the first place? If they truly respected you, they would never have created the space that led to this silence. The very fact that they are back, asking for forgiveness or trying to reconnect, speaks volumes about their selfishness, not their growth. Romans 12:2 urges us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Don't allow their manipulation to pull you back into old patterns. What would happen if you gave in to their attempts? Would you regain the peace you've found, or would you be opening the door to more chaos? They may claim they've changed, but the truth is, their actions have already shown you who they are. And if they haven't made real changes, it will only lead to more hurt and disappointment. You might feel tempted to believe their words, to think that time has healed all wounds, but the reality is this is a test, a trap set to draw you back into their cycle of manipulation. They are not coming back because they've changed or because they miss you in a healthy way. They are coming back because they can't handle losing you as a source of emotional supply. They are starving and they want to feed on your attention again. Proverbs 4:23 reminds us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." If you let them back in without truly understanding their motives, you are opening your heart to potential harm. Your emotional peace, your sense of control over your own life, has value. Don't let their panic cloud your judgment. Will you fall for it again, or will you stand firm in the peace and strength you've cultivated? Maya Angelou once said, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." Your journey towards strength, peace and emotional freedom has not been easy, and it's not come without struggle. Just like the butterfly, you've gone through a process of transformation, and now you stand as someone who has learned the importance of walking away from toxic influences. What does it mean for you to stay in this transformed state, to resist the pull to return to what once caused you pain? Think about Steve Jobs, who was ousted from Apple, the company he founded, only to return years later to lead it into unprecedented success. His absence forced him to grow, to evolve, and when he came back, he didn't go back to the old ways. He brought with him innovation, vision, and clarity. Similarly, when you walk away from what no longer serves you, you make room for something greater to emerge in your life. Now, they see your absence as a reflection of their failure, and they miss you, but it's not because they've learned to value you in a meaningful way. They miss the control they once had over you. And now, with the realization that they've lost that, they can only stare at the space you've left behind. The question remains, will you allow them to return and repeat the cycle? Or will you stand strong in your peace and move forward, knowing that you are worthy of better? Matthew 7:7 tells us, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you." The door you've closed for them is not just a symbol of your strength, it's an invitation to something better. Don't open that door to the past. Keep moving forward, because what's ahead is far greater than what's behind. Chosen one, when your growth, your decision to walk away, and the boundaries you've set have revealed the true nature of those around you. It's as if the silence you maintained, the distance you created, and the self-respect you reclaimed have exposed them for who they truly are. It's almost as if you've turned a light on in a dark room, and now their true colors are showing in ways they can no longer hide. How does it feel to see them for who they really are now? In Psalm 91 verse 1 it says, "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty." You've chosen to dwell in peace and strength, away from the chaos they tried to pull you into. Your distance from them is not just physical, it's emotional, mental and spiritual. And in that space of calm, you've reclaimed your power. You've chosen to protect your energy. And now the very silence you've embraced is making them uncomfortable. It's not the silence of weakness, but the silence of strength, the kind of silence that reveals the truth. Why do you think they're struggling with your absence? Isn't it fascinating how the moment you stopped feeding into their drama, the moment you stopped reacting to their games, everything shifted? They never expected you to actually walk away. They never thought you would rise without them. They believed they were the center of your world, the ones who could manipulate your emotions and actions, but you proved them wrong. And here you are, untouchable, out of reach, moving forward in a way they can't predict or control. How does it feel to be untouchable, to know that they can no longer reach you with their tricks and their chaos? Isaiah 54:17 reminds us, "No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you." The weapon they tried to use against you, emotional manipulation, chaos and control, has failed. And now, their true colors are being exposed for all to see. You're not just walking away from them, you're walking into a new version of yourself, one that is strong, independent, and free from their influence. It's often said that growth isn't always comfortable. It's uncomfortable for those who have benefited from your vulnerabilities, your kindness, or your willingness to engage with their drama. But isn't that the point of growth? It forces us to shed old layers, to become something greater, something unrecognizable to those who once knew us. This is exactly what's happening now. You're moving in a way that is unpredictable, unstoppable. And for them it's terrifying. They thought they could hold you in a cage of emotional turmoil, but now they see that cage was never real. It was a construct they built in their minds, and you broke free from it. What would it feel like to know that you've completely outgrown their influence? Nelson Mandela, during his long imprisonment, found freedom not just in his physical release, but in his ability to rise above the hatred and injustice he faced. He didn't allow the world around him to shape his sense of self-worth. Similarly, you've outgrown the chains they tried to place on you. You've reclaimed your autonomy, and now you stand in the light of your own growth. And now, they're left in the shadows, watching as you rise without them. Do you see how their discomfort is revealing their true nature? They never truly valued you. They only valued the control they had over you. But now, without that control, their egos are exposed. John 8:32 reminds us, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." And the truth is, they never wanted you to be free. They never wanted you to stand on your own 2 feet. But now, you are free. You are untouchable. Your growth has forced them to confront their own weaknesses. Why do you think they never thought you could rise without them? Was it because they believed they were the source of your strength, or did they fear your potential all along? Now, they can no longer hold you back. They can no longer manipulate you. You are moving forward, and nothing will stop you. Maya Angelou once said, "We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. You've encountered struggles, but you've overcome them all. You've risen, and in doing so, you've become a living example of strength and resilience." Now, they see you, untouchable, unstoppable, and out of their reach. And the only thing they can do is watch as you continue to thrive. Chosen one, for so long, they convinced themselves, and perhaps even others, that you were the unstable one, the one who overreacted, the one who could never let things go. They labeled you as too sensitive, too emotional, too much. Why do you think they do this? Why is it so important for them to twist the narrative in this way? For a time, they believed their own lies. They manipulated the story to fit their narrative. But now that you've walked away, they are faced with a truth they didn't anticipate. The chaos didn't leave with you. Proverbs 12:19 tells us, "Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment." The truth you've lived, the truth of your actions, your peace and your strength has stood firm, and their lies are starting to fall apart. Can you feel it? The cracks in their carefully constructed story are beginning to show. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to accept that they were the real source of the problem all along. It's unbearable for them to face the fact that it was never you. It was always them. And now, because they can't handle this truth, they lash out. They try to rewrite the narrative. They talk about you more than they should, mentioning your name in conversations where it doesn't belong. Why do you think they feel compelled to do this? Why is it so important for them to keep your name in their mouths? They reach out to mutual friends or acquaintances, fishing for information, desperate to find out how you're doing. If you still care, if you're still thinking about them, do you see how their fear of losing control is pushing them to act this way? James 1:19 reminds us, Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. But they're not listening. They're scrambling to keep the illusion intact. They don't want to admit that they've lost their grip on you, that you've truly moved on. They can't stand the idea that you're thriving without them, that you're flourishing without their toxicity in your life. But here's the truth. Your absence is more powerful than their presence ever was. As you continue to grow, to evolve, to move forward, their world begins to unravel. Have you noticed how the more you win in silence, the more they come undone? Your strength, your ability to walk away without drama, without needing closure, is like a mirror reflecting their own flaws. They don't like what they see when they look at themselves. What does that realization feel like for you? The fact that you're not the one holding them back anymore. Take Serena Williams, for example. She's faced many challenges and detractors in her career, but instead of engaging in negativity, she's chosen to rise above it. How has her strength and resilience inspired you? She didn't let the noise and criticism define her. Instead, she stayed focused on her purpose. Like her, you are walking in your purpose now, and their attempts to distract you or draw you back into their narrative are failing. Now their actions are coming back to haunt them. They thought you were the one holding them up, but without you, they're sinking. The people around them, the friends, family members, and others who once believed their version of events, are beginning to see the truth. Can you feel the shift as people begin to see through their lies? They can no longer blame you for the dysfunction, and the deception they use to control the narrative is falling apart. Their inconsistencies are catching up with them, and deep down, they know it. How does it feel to know that their actions are now revealing their true selves? Romans 2:6 says, God will repay each person according to what they have done, and now their own actions are repaying them. They feel the shift, the weight of their own choices crashing down on them. They feel the loss of your presence more deeply than they ever expected. The comfort, the security, the emotional supply you once provided, it's all gone now, and they're left scrambling, unsure of how to regain what they once had. But you don't even have to lift a finger. You don't have to expose them. You don't need to seek revenge. You don't have to force anyone to see the truth. Their actions are doing that for you. Your silence, your peace, and your growth are doing all the work. The truth is being revealed on its own, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. Why do you think this is happening? Why do you think their lies are falling apart so easily now that you've removed yourself from their game? Mahatma Gandhi faced great adversity and betrayal in his quest for independence, yet he always chose peace over violence. His decision to rise above the chaos became a powerful statement of his strength and resilience. What can we learn from his ability to remain calm in the face of manipulation and control? That peace and integrity are more powerful than any attempt to draw you back into a toxic cycle. And now they're obsessing over you. They're stalking you. They're trying to find anything that will connect them back to you. They check your social media, hoping to see signs of struggle, signs that you're missing them. But all they find is someone who looks happier without them. Does that surprise you? They expected you to fall apart, to be devastated by their absence. But instead, you've thrived. You've elevated. You've become untouchable. And now they're the ones falling apart. Isaiah 40:31 promises, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This is your strength. You have soared above the chaos, above their manipulation, and now you are moving forward with grace, leaving them behind to deal with the consequences of their own actions. And they know it. They feel it. You are untouchable, and they cannot stand it. Chosen one, have you ever noticed how some people become addicted to the energy, the attention, the presence of others? It's as though they feed off your light, your spirit, your very essence. They crave it. But here's the truth, the supply's gone. You've removed yourself from their toxic grip, and without it, they are left with nothing. Can you feel the weight of their desperation? Without your presence to feed on, they are restless, agitated, lost. Why do you think they feel this way? They know that what they had with you was rare, an energy they can't easily replace. In Proverbs 10:22, we are reminded, "The blessing of the Lord brings wealth without painful toil for it." You were their blessing. Your presence brought them comfort, stability, and a sense of control. But now, that blessing is gone. They can't find anything that compares to what you gave them. No distraction is strong enough to fill the void you left behind. No new person can replace the unique bond you shared. And deep down they know it. How does it feel knowing that your absence is teaching them a painful lesson? But that's just the beginning of their downfall. Karma doesn't forget. What goes around always comes around. The people who thought they could replace you are now faced with their own emptiness. Why do you think they believed they could easily move on from you? Was it because they underestimated your value? Or was it because they couldn't see the strength in your silence? Isaiah 61:7 promises, "Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance." The shame they placed on you is now falling back on them, and they are drowning in the regret of how they treated you. They took you for granted. They thought you would always be there, that you would always give and give without ever asking for anything in return. But now that you've walked away, they're realizing how wrong they were. They thought you would struggle without them, that you would come crawling back. But instead you elevated. You made moves they never expected. And now they are the ones struggling to keep up. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. She was often underestimated, and at many points in her life, people tried to discredit her value. But she continued to rise, and her success became a testament to her strength. What can we learn from Oprah's ability to rise above adversity and show the world her true worth? You are doing the same now, walking away from what didn't serve you, and letting the world see the power that was always within you. Now, without your emotional supply, they are drowning in the emptiness they tried to ignore. Luke 6:38 says, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." You gave them so much, and now that you've withdrawn that energy, they are feeling the impact. The emotional supply they once relied on is gone, and they're left struggling to find balance. Do you feel the power of your decision to stop giving in? Their attempts to keep you in their orbit have failed. They thought you'd be lost without them, but instead you found strength in your silence, and now you're stepping into the life you've always deserved. The financial control they tried to use against you? Shattered. Their tactics no longer work. You are free. And as you continue to rise, they continue to fall. How does it feel knowing that their belief in their superiority over you has crumbled? Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will." You've shown the world your strength, not through physical means, but through your ability to walk away from what no longer serves you. Do you see how your strength is now something they can't ignore? You've moved forward without them, and now they are struggling to keep up with the power you've unlocked within yourself. Chosen one, every step you take without them is a silent reminder that they were never as important as they believed. Do you see it? Every win you achieve without their help exposes the truth. They had no real power over you. How does it feel to see their illusion of control crumble? Every time they watch you thrive, something inside them twists. Jealousy, regret, disbelief. They tried to break you, but in reality, all they did was set you free. And now they can't stand it. They watch you in silence, hoping for any sign of failure, searching for cracks in your happiness, praying you'll slip. But all they find is someone who stepped into a new level of abundance. Psalm 23:1 says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. As you grow, so does your abundance. new connections, new opportunities, new blessings. And with each blessing, they shrink. Why does your success bother them so much? Because nothing eats them alive more than seeing you become everything they once tried to convince you that you couldn't be. Chosen one, the jealousy is undeniable now. They won't admit it, of course. They'll act unbothered, pretending they don't care. But their actions tell a different story. They're watching, they're bitter. And deep down, they know they lost someone they will never replace. Can you see the truth in their eyes? No matter how much they try to suppress it, your presence lingers like a song stuck in their head, like a ghost they can't outrun. Why do you think they can't move past you? Because they never truly understood your value until it was too late. In Romans 12:21, we are reminded, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." You didn't need to fight back. You didn't need to prove anything to them. You simply moved forward with grace, and now they are left to deal with the consequences of their actions. They can't outrun the truth, no matter how much they try to distract themselves. Now, when they try to focus on something else, your absence still lingers like a shadow they can't shake. Can you imagine how haunting it must be for them? They scroll through their phone, hovering over your name, their fingers hesitating over the keyboard, typing messages they'll never send. The words seem empty now. Nothing they say can undo what's been done. Instead, they sit in silence, drowning in their own thoughts, replaying every moment, every conversation, every choice that led them here. What do you think they're feeling as they dissect their every misstep? Jeremiah 29:11 tells us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." The plans God had for you all along were bigger than anything they could ever offer. You were never meant to stay in their destructive cycle. Now they're left questioning themselves, trying to pinpoint the exact moment they lost you. But deep down, they already know. Losing you wasn't a single moment. It was a series of choices, a pattern of neglect and arrogance that led them to believe you would always be there. How does it feel to realize that their actions have caught up with them? And now they can't move on. Not because they don't want to, but because they can't find anything or anyone that replaces what you gave them. How many times have they tried? They've surrounded themselves with distractions, jumped into meaningless connections, drowned themselves in temporary highs. But no matter where they turn, they keep hitting the same wall. What do you think it is about your energy, your love, that they can't replace? Maya Angelou once said, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. You've refused to be reduced by their attempts to control you. You've stepped into a life full of abundance and self-respect, and now they're left with nothing but emptiness." Do you see how their attempts to replace you have only highlighted how rare and precious your presence was? They thought they could move on, but all they found was the hollow space you once filled. And now the withdrawal is unbearable. It's a slow, gnawing ache that doesn't go away. They can't fill it with distractions, with temporary highs, with new people. What do you think this says about your worth? They tried to replace you, but all they found was a void, a hollowness that no substitute can fill. John 14:27 reminds us, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid." Your peace is something they'll never find again. They can try to fill the space with others, but nothing will ever come close to what you gave them. And that is the part that hurts the most. The pain of realizing what they've lost and knowing they can never get it back. Chosen. 1. Have you ever noticed how they expected you to be the one who struggled? They assumed you'd be the one reaching out, desperate to fix what was broken, desperate to reclaim what was lost. Why did they think you would come crawling back? They were certain you'd run to them, begging for another chance. But instead, they're the ones falling apart. They're the ones spiraling, trying to hold on to fleeting highs that never last. What do you think it is about your absence that's throwing them off balance? No distraction is strong enough. The new faces they try to replace you with all blur together. None of them carry the warmth, the depth, the soul that you did. Psalm 37:4 tells us, "Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Your presence was their source of peace and comfort, and now that it's gone, they are faced with the reality that what they had with you was something special, something irreplaceable. It wasn't just a relationship, it was a rare connection that can't be replicated, and that's what haunts them. How does it feel knowing that you were irreplaceable? They may never admit it, but their actions betray them. The late-night stalking, the accidental likes on your posts, the random check-ins from mutual friends, they all show how much they're still thinking about you. Why do you think they can't let go? It stings every time they hear about you, see you, or think of you, because what they once took for granted has now become their greatest regret. Can you see the regret in their actions? The bitterness in their forced smiles when your name comes up? The silence when they realize you've moved on? It all speaks volumes. But you've already let them go. This was never just a loss, it was a lesson, and you learned. You didn't just walk away, you evolved. You didn't just heal, you ascended. You outgrew what was never meant for you. You stepped into your power, into your purpose, into your peace. How does it feel to have gained so much strength from what you've been through? In Jeremiah 29:11, God tells us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." This wasn't rejection, but redirection. Can you see how God was guiding you all along, even when it felt like a loss? He saw the hidden motives and burdens that you couldn't see. And when you wouldn't let go, He made sure they let go of you, not as punishment but as protection. Why do you think it was important for you to walk away? Because you were never meant to stay in places that drained you. You were never meant to pour endlessly into people who only took. And when you stopped chasing what was never meant for you, your blessings began chasing you. The peace you feel now, that's divine alignment. The doors opening for you, that's God's favor. The opportunities flowing your way, that's just the beginning. Take Denzel Washington as an example. His rise to fame wasn't a smooth journey, and at many points he faced struggles and setbacks. But he never let those challenges define him. Instead, he took them as lessons, and he kept pushing forward. What can we learn from his resilience? Just like him, you've embraced the challenges, learned the lessons, and now you're walking into the abundance that was always meant for you. Your blessings are here, and this is only the beginning. You've stepped into your greatness, and nothing can stop you now. Chosen one, have you ever noticed how they wanted to break you, but all they did was set you free? They thought they could tear you down, make you doubt yourself, or hold you back. But look at you now. Every step you've taken without them has proven them wrong. How does it feel to know that, despite their attempts, you've only become stronger and more powerful? They can't stop watching. They can't stop wondering what you're doing, where you're going. They can't stop missing you. Why do you think they feel that way? Because they lost you, and this time you're never coming back. They are now a reflection of the growth you've stepped into, and while you rise, they struggle. But why are they struggling? Not because you wished them harm, not because you sought revenge, but because they are now forced to sit in the very energy they put out. What do you think it means for them to now face their own actions? Every lie they told, every manipulation they played, every attempt to keep you small, it's all come back full circle. Do you see how the universe is now holding them accountable for what they did to you? Galatians 6:7 warns, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." The energy they sent your way, the manipulation, the control, the deceit, it's all coming back to them now. And they have no choice but to watch you receive everything they tried to block, all the blessings and opportunities they thought they could keep from you. How does it feel to know that the very thing they feared most, your success, is now the reality you're living? That is their real punishment. They thought they were teaching you a lesson by walking away. They thought their absence would weaken you, that their rejection would break you. Why do you think they believed that? Was it because they thought you depended on them, that you couldn't thrive without them? But instead, God used it to teach them a lesson. They thought they were in control, but God was always in control. In Romans 8:31, we are reminded, if God is for us, who can be against us? When you are chosen, when you are aligned with your purpose, when you are protected by divine favor, nothing they do can stop what is meant for you. Can you see how everything is falling into place for you, even when they tried to stop it? That's why you keep winning. That's why you keep elevating. They wanted you to lose. They wanted you to suffer. They wanted to be the reason you failed. But instead, you became their biggest nightmare. You didn't just survive without them. You thrived. Nelson Mandela was once imprisoned and exiled by those who sought to break him. Yet he emerged stronger, more determined, and more committed to his cause. How does his story resonate with yours? The trials he faced didn't define him. They elevated him. Similarly, you've faced challenges, but instead of being defeated, you've been elevated by them. Matthew 19:26 reminds us, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. And now you are living proof that God's plans for you are unstoppable. How does it feel to know that no matter what they try to do, God's will for your life is the only thing that matters? You've become untouchable, someone they can no longer reach, someone they can no longer affect. And that is their real punishment, seeing you rise higher than they ever imagined. Chosen one, now the jealousy is eating them alive. They see you winning, they see you glowing, and they see doors opening for you that they never thought you'd walk through. Can you feel the burn they must be experiencing right now? Every success you achieve is a reminder of the power you always had, a power they tried so desperately to convince you didn't exist. They spent so much time trying to dim your light, trying to make you doubt yourself. But now, all they can do is watch as you shine brighter than ever. What does it feel like to know that, despite their efforts, you've become the brightest version of yourself? Isaiah 61 reminds us, arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. This is your time to shine, and their attempts to bring you down only made you rise higher. Do you see how their attempts to weaken you have only fueled your strength? So, they pretend not to care. They act unbothered. They tell themselves they've moved on. Why do you think they can't truly move on? The truth is, they are watching you, checking up on you, listening when your name comes up, secretly hoping for any sign that you're struggling, searching for any crack in your happiness. Why do you think they feel this need to keep tabs on you? It's because deep down, they know they lost someone irreplaceable. How does it feel to know that no matter what they do, they can't undo what they've lost? Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. You've guarded your heart, chosen your peace, and in doing so, you've created an unbreakable foundation for your life. And that realization that they lost something irreplaceable is suffocating them. It's a pain they can't escape. What do you think it means for them to realize they can never replace you? Because their plans backfired. They thought discarding you would break you. They thought turning others against you would isolate you. They thought their absence would leave you empty. Do you see how they underestimated your strength? Everything they did to destroy you only set you free. Do you feel the freedom now, knowing that their attempts only pushed you closer to your purpose? In Romans 8:28 it is written, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." What they tried to use to break you became the very thing that propelled you forward. Every attempt to weaken you only made you stronger. Every setback they tried to create became the foundation for your comeback. Can you see how God was using their actions for your good? Take Tyler Perry, for example. He faced years of rejection and hardship, yet each rejection only pushed him to work harder and rise higher. His setbacks turned into the foundation for his empire. How does his story resonate with your journey? Like him, you turned adversity into an opportunity for growth, and now you're reaping the rewards of your perseverance. Their efforts didn't break you, they set you free. You are now living proof that no matter how hard they try to tear you down, nothing can stop what's meant for you. You are unstoppable, and they are left watching you soar, knowing they'll never be able to undo the power you've found within yourself. Chosen one, now they are the ones drowning in regret. They sit in the heavy weight of their own decisions, wishing they had appreciated you when they had the chance. Can you see how regret is consuming them? They regret playing games instead of valuing something real, regret letting their pride, their ego, their immaturity push away the one person who truly cared. And the worst part? There's no going back. They have to face the painful reality that they will never get another version of you. In Isaiah 43:18 we are told, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past." You've outgrown them. You've evolved into someone who no longer fits into the space they once occupied. And now they have to live with the fact that the version of you they knew is gone forever. What do you think that feels like for them? To know they can never get back what they lost. And you owe them nothing. Not a second chance, not an explanation, not another moment of your time. The person they betrayed no longer exists. The version of you that tolerated their games, excused their lies, and overlooked their disrespect is gone. How does it feel to know that the person they once knew will never return? What's left is someone they can never touch again. They can't manipulate someone they can't control. They can't deceive someone who knows their worth, and that terrifies them. Matthew 10:16 says, "I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves." Once you see them for who they truly are, once you recognize the patterns, once you break free from their influence, they lose all power over you. Can you feel the power you have now that you've broken free from their control? They will try to pull you back, not because they love you, but because they can't stand to see you free. They can't accept that you've outgrown them, that their absence didn't break you, and that their control over you was never real. Why do you think they can't accept this truth? It was always an illusion, a game they tried to play with your emotions. But this is where you break the cycle. They were a lesson, not a life sentence. Their presence in your past does not mean they deserve a place in your future. Why do you think it's important to leave them in the past? The pain they caused doesn't mean they deserve another chance. You don't go back to what broke you. You don't reopen doors that God has closed. You don't entertain people who only miss you because they lost control over you. Can you see now how their absence has only made you stronger? Your growth intimidates them. Your silence torments them. Your elevation exposes them. And that is why you must keep moving forward. Why do you think your growth is so powerful that it terrifies them? Because the moment you look back, you risk slipping into the very chaos you fought to escape. The moment you entertain their games, you slow down your own progress. The moment you let them back in, you prove them right, that you were never really gone. But this time, you are gone. They can't reach you anymore. In Romans 8:18, it says, "I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." You've endured the pain, the betrayal, and the manipulation. And now, you're stepping into the glory that was always meant for you. They have to sit with their loss. They have to sit with the reality that you're not coming back, and the weight of their own choices and consequences is all they will have left. The silence they never expected. It's their punishment. The moment you keep moving forward, they are left behind, and there's nothing they can do to stop you. How does it feel to know that nothing can hold you back anymore? You've broken free, and now you walk into a future they can never touch. And you, beloved chosen one, you keep rising, because the only way to truly win is to never go back. It's over, and they know it. They lost access to you. They lost control over you. They lost the one thing they never thought they'd lose, you. And now they have to live with that reality. How does that feel to know that the power they once held over you is now gone forever? Your silence speaks louder than any argument. Your success is the revenge you never had to seek. And every step you take forward is a constant reminder to them that they could never hold you down. Your elevation is proof that they never had power over you to begin with. And that's why they're still watching, still obsessing, still holding on to something that no longer exists. Deep down, they know what they lost and they can't stop thinking about it. But you've already won. How powerful is that to acknowledge? You walked away with your peace, your dignity, and the life they swore you'd never have without them. What is it about that kind of strength that they can never take from you? And that is what will haunt them forever. The fact that they will never have the chance to control you again. That's all for today, dear one. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me on this incredible journey of personal growth, spiritual awakening, and divine elevation. It's truly an honor to be part of your journey and to share these messages of strength, resilience, and hope with you. My prayer is that today's message has resonated deeply with you and reminded you of your unshakable worth, your unmatchable power, and the life of abundance that awaits you. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, and your journey has only just begun. If you've found value in today's message and it has inspired you in any way, I would be incredibly grateful if you would consider supporting this channel with a super thanks. Every contribution, no matter the size, helps us to continue spreading these messages of empowerment and truth. Please remember, though, that your presence, your engagement, and your energy are the greatest gifts. Whether you choose to donate or not, I want you to know how truly thankful I am for you being part of this community. Thank you for your support, for your time, and for your commitment to your growth. Now, let's take a moment to pray together. Dear Father, I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual presence, knowing you will never harm me. I understand that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not harm, to give me a good future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am grateful for your presence in my life and the abundance you bring. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who need to hear this powerful message. Leave a comment below about your own personal journey, how you're finding strength in the face of challenges, and how you are preparing for your own triumphant return to your true self. We've loved walking alongside you on this journey and are excited to continue exploring these spiritual truths together. Thank you for staying with us until the very end. Keep shining brightly, keep embracing your destiny with courage, and know that you are never alone on this path. See you next time. Blessings to all the beautiful souls. May your journey be filled with peace, power, and divine favor.